This is an historic moment. We have in this past year made great progress in ending the long era of conflict and Cold War. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
I'm old forever looking old, Joker. So you heard what he said. So it's not made up. Wait a minute. Oh, you've been watching that news there. You've been listening to that Vice News and that CBS and all that other bull crap. You've been looking at them Grinch conspiracy theories and Shane Dawson. No, stuff ain't made up. The man said he wants a credible United Nations to bring about this new world order. Former director of the CIA, former president, member of the Skull and Bones Secret Society. What more do you need? If he was any more Illuminati, he'd be a walking pyramid with an eye in the middle, spouting his love for the United Nations. See, you want to say it's made up. You want to call it a conspiracy theory, but we remember, like, we like to talk about facts, right, guys? Facts? Then we know that in the 1960s, the CIA created the term conspiracy theory to discredit people who do what? Question the government. Oh, there it is again. CIA, then we got Bush being a former director of the CIA. So, it's probably in his interest. But he gone. But that don't mean they gone. That don't mean the agenda is gone. They still doing it. Wait a minute. Somebody else want to say, it's hysteria to believe such things. That New World Order is all made up make-believe. I keep saying that. Why? Because they keep saying that. People keep saying that. But Bush said it's a big idea, this New World Order.
It is a big idea. A new world order.
And diverse nations and blah, blah, blah. Diverse nations meaning that there are multiple nations in on this same idea, this plan that's being put into action. He's going to say all these little fluffy things to make it sound like it's a good thing, but you have to understand they're doing something this evil. They're probably not going to make it sound bad. You see, they have to go into different territories, and they can't be announcing all their little devious schemes. Otherwise, they won't be able to go in there. So they pretend to be humanitarians. Oh, we're helping the people out. We're giving them vaccines. We're cleaning up the water. When they're only just creating the infrastructure so they can put their system in place, and then they can get people locked into this system of deception. And they also want to decrease the population's total control is what they want. So you have to really listen to just the little details. They ain't going to tell you everything, but in the little details, you see the truth. And we're going to listen to the details of this next speech. And you're going to see what actually happened. And you're going to see what is this New World Order? How are they going to bring this about?
Until now, the world we've known has been a world divided. A world of barbed wire and concrete block, conflict, Cold War. And now we can see a new world coming into view. A world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order. In the words of Winston Churchill, a world order in which the principles of justice and fair play protect the weak against the strong. A world where the United Nations, freed from Cold War stalemate, is poised to fulfill the historic vision of its founders. A world in which freedom and respect for human rights find a home among all nations. The Gulf War put this new world to its first test. And my fellow Americans, we passed that test. For the sake of our principles, for the sake of the Kuwaiti people, we stood our ground, because the world would not look the other way.
That joker said the Gulf War was a test for this new world and it passed. So now you know what it's all about. What do you mean? Listen up now. The Gulf War was based upon lies, which you will see. All that little talk about, oh, the Kuwaiti people, we did it for them. No. The world could not turn its face. No. They should have turned their face because you was lying, Joker. Very nasty little lie, too. But this is the type of stuff you need to understand. This type of history, the actual history you need to understand, because this is the type of stuff they're doing now and they're going to do in the future. Prepare your mind. Take this information, download this video, and just remember what they did.
Iraq attacks Kuwait, claiming the Kuwaitis are slant drilling into Iraq's oil fields. U.S. President George Herbert Walker Bush pushes for a land war against Iraq. But polls show the U.S. public is split 50-50 on that idea. Then comes this eyewitness testimony before a congressional committee from a 15-year-old Kuwaiti girl. The claim is she cannot be identified for fear of reprisals.
While I was there, I saw the Iraqi soldiers come into the hospital with guns. They took the babies out of the incubators, took the incubators, and left the children to die on the cold floor.
The U.S. public is outraged. The result? Support for land war zooms. 135,000 Iraqis are killed. An estimated 1 million Iraqis, many of them children and old people, then die as a result of 10 years of sanctions. One small problem. There never were any incubator baby deaths, not one. The Canadian Broadcasting Corporation's investigative flagship program, The Fifth Estate, reveals the girl to be the Kuwaiti ambassador's daughter, given her lines and coached in acting by the giant American PR firm Hill & Knowlton. It's one phase in a $10 million joint U.S.-Kuwaiti campaign of deception. This man is lying.
I myself buried 14 newborn babies that had been taken from their incubators.
This man is lying.
And they had kids in incubators, and they were thrown out of the incubators so that Kuwait could be systematically dismantled.
There were a lot of people who participated in a conspiracy. Yes, an out-and-out conspiracy of fake organizations, false documents, fraud, and disinformation.
Redsilverj, all I gotta say.